The Silence of the Lambs is one of only 3 films in history to win all 5 of the major Academy Awards. It's the 23rd most highly rated movie on IMDb, and number 61 on the WGA's list of the 101 greatest screenplays. Here are 8 screenwriting secrets in The Silence of the Lambs. We've seen a lot of screenplays bookend the story with opening and closing images, usually mirroring each other, but showing us the change that has occurred in the story. In The Silence of the Lambs, we get an interesting set of bookending images deeper inside the story. When Clarice Starling is called into Jack Crawford's office, she sees this. Here's what we know about her at the beginning of the story. Clarice is not an actual FBI agent yet. She has no idea what she's been called in for. The news clipping is displayed to help catch the villain. So let's take a look at the closing image. So what do we know about Clarice now? She's found Buffalo Bill on her own. She's apprehended the killer on her own. And here, the clipping is displayed by the villain for his vanity. Even if your opening and closing images don't occur at the very beginning and end of your story, they can still be powerful tools to reflect the change that occurs. Dramatic irony is a tool commonly used by professional screenwriters to engage the audience. In screenwriting, dramatic irony occurs when the audience knows something that certain characters in the story do not. This engages our attention because it makes us want to know what will happen once the truth is discovered. Let's take a look at the brilliant examples of dramatic irony in The Silence of the Lambs. When Catherine Martin offers to help Buffalo Bill with the couch, she has no idea that he's a serial killer. And we're yelling at her to get out of there. This dramatic tension is resolved once he attacks her. Another example, Hannibal Lecter and Clarice Starling don't know that Dr. Chilton is listening to their conversation. This thread of dramatic irony is then resolved here.
You still think you're gonna walk on some beach and see the birdies? No, I don't think so.
The finale provides a brilliant sequence in which consecutive threads of dramatic irony are created. First, Buffalo Bill doesn't know the FBI are surrounding his house. This thread of dramatic irony is resolved once this happens.
Good afternoon. Sorry to bother you. I'm looking for Mrs. Lippman's family.
This now creates a new line of dramatic irony. The FBI don't know they're at the wrong house, which is resolved once they breach the doors.
There's no one here, Jack. Clarice.
Consequently, Clarice doesn't know she's at Buffalo Bill's house. This thread of dramatic irony creates enormous tension in the audience and is resolved when she sees the moth on the sewing thread. Notice how this then creates a new source of dramatic irony. Buffalo Bill doesn't know Clarice has figured it out. This keeps us on the edge of our seats until Buffalo Bill himself realizes the truth.
Freeze! Put your hands over your head and turn around. Spread your legs.
And in the climactic scene, Clarice doesn't know Buffalo Bill is right in front of her. The audience is held in delicious suspense until he cocks the hammer of his revolver. Professional screenwriters use dramatic irony all the time in their screenplays. Step up your game by incorporating it into your own story. The Silence of the Lambs presents one of the greatest character introductions in cinematic history. Look at the tremendous amount of build-up before we even see Hannibal Lecter.
The psychiatrist, Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal the cannibal.
Be very careful with Hannibal Lecter. Believe me, you don't want Hannibal Lecter inside your head.
Oh, he's a monster. Pure psychopath. So rare to capture one alive. We've tried to study him, of course, but he's much too sophisticated for the standard tests. I'm going to show you why we insist on such precautions. The doctors managed to reset her jaw, more or less. His pulse never got above 85, even when he ate her tongue.
So by the time we finally see him, Hannibal Lecter needs no introduction, and the audience already has a sense of dread. The story world that Clarice Starling navigates is a constant barrage of antagonism from male characters. Let's take a look at how she's always swimming upstream in her job as an FBI trainee.
Enter or exit. Rule 404.
This type of sex crime has certain aspects I just as soon discuss in private.
Now, please, go on now. Let us take care of her. Go on now.
To make the antagonism of the story world even stronger, notice how Clarice Starling and other women are treated as objects.
You know, we get a lot of detectives here, but I must say I can't ever remember one as attractive. Crawford's very clever, isn't he, using you?
What do you mean, sir?
Pretty young woman to turn him on. It's my haircut.
You ever go out for cheeseburgers and beer?
Are you hitting on me, Doctor?
Yes.
Do you think Jack Crawford visualizes scenarios, exchanges, fucking you?
Did you nurse Catherine yourself?
Wait a minute.
Yes, I did.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
Did the rancher make you perform fellatio? Did he sodomize you? Goodbye, Clarice.
So the lesson here, create an antagonistic story world and you'll have plenty of natural conflict to work with. There are two brilliant reversals that occur in the story. In the first reversal, Hannibal Lecter escapes by pretending to be the fallen officer, Jim Pembry. In order for a reversal to be effective, we must first establish an expected outcome. Look at how strongly they set up an expectation in the audience's mind.
It's Jim Pembry. Now talk to him, damn it! Lecter is missing and armed.
Pembry, can you hear me?
I'm on the elevator bringing Pembry down. He seems to be hanging on.
In the second major reversal, Clarice Starling shows up at Buffalo Bill's house. Look at how the expectation is built up.
Starling, we know who he is and where he is. We're on our way right now.
Well, Chicago's only 400 miles from here. I'll be there in...
No, Starling.
There's not enough time. We want him for murder, not kidnapping.
Did Frederica ever mention a man named Jamie Gum? How about John Grant? No.
And the expectation is the strongest right before the reversal occurs. Reversals are a powerful method to keep the audience on their toes. Remember to establish an expected outcome in their minds in order for the reversal to be truly effective. The Silence of the Lambs has two serial killers as main characters. Notice how they're interesting characters because they're complex and not one-dimensional. First, we have Buffalo Bill. He kills women and cuts off their skin. But he's affectionate to his pets.
Yes, you will, precious. You will get to hold.
So powerful. So beautiful. Hey, don't you hurt my dog!
Don't you make me hurt your dog!
And he's good at sewing. Then we have Hannibal Lecter. He's a serial killer known for eating his victims. But look at how we're given other facets to his character.
That is the Duomo scene from the Belvedere. You know, Florence?
I would not have had that happen to you. Discourtesy is unspeakably ugly to me.
Where are you, Dr. Lecter?
I have no plans to call on you, Clarice. The world's more interesting with you in it.
So when it comes to the villain in your story, be sure to make them complex characters with their own desires and positive traits. In screenwriting, one of the most simple but potent ways of creating natural, organic conflict in a scene is to have the characters have conflicting goals in that scene. In The Silence of the Lambs, we have 4 meetings between Clarice Starling and Hannibal Lecter. Let's take a look at the scene goals in each meeting to see how they clash and create conflict. Let's see what Clarice Starling's goal is in the first meeting.
Perhaps you'd care to lend us your view on this questionnaire, sir.
However, Hannibal Lecter's scene goal is to disqualify or discredit her.
That expires in 1 week. You're not real FBI, are you?
So look at how Starling struggles to achieve her objective.
Now this ham-handed segue into your questionnaire, it won't do. Oh, Agent Starling, you think you can dissect me with this blunt little tool? You know what you look like to me with your good bag and your cheap shoes? You look like a rube. You fly back to school now, little Starling.
In the second meeting, Clarice enters with a new scene goal.
Why don't we talk about Miss Moffat? You wanted me to find him.
However, Hannibal Lecter's scene goal is not to help her. It's this.
What I want is a view. I want a window where I can see a tree, or even water.
So he milks his reticence to get what he wants.
Tell me who decapitated your patient, Doctor.
All good things to those who wait.
In the third meeting, notice how the antagonistic forces are increased.
What you're doing, Miss Starling, is coming into my hospital to conduct an interview and refusing to share information with me for the third time.
It's obvious what Clarice Starling's goal is here.
This offer is non-negotiable and final. Catherine Martin dies, you get nothing.
However, Lecter's scene goal isn't so clearly defined. We're given a clue earlier.
And you're to tell him nothing personal, Starling. Believe me, you don't want Hannibal Lecter inside your head.
Quid pro quo. I tell you things, you tell me things. Not about this case, though. About yourself.
Notice then how Clarice Starling must be both patient and vulnerable to achieve her goal.
What is your worst memory of childhood?
Death of my father.
Did the rancher make you perform fellatio? Did he sodomize you?
No.
And finally, their last meeting, this time in the Shelby County Courthouse. Starling desperately needs Lecter's help to identify Buffalo Bill.
You were telling me the truth back in Baltimore, sir. Please continue now.
Notice how the stakes are higher with the added time pressure.
Pity about poor Catherine, though. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock.
Doctor, we don't have any more time for any of this now.
Lecter continues with his goal of getting inside Clarice's head. He wants to get at the ghost that haunts her soul.
What became of your lamb, Clarice?
I killed him.
Thank you, Clarice. Thank you.
Coincidentally, notice how this conflict has cleverly hidden an enormous amount of exposition on the protagonist's backstory. Have your characters have conflicting scene goals, and watch your scenes come alive with better conflict. Dialogue hooks are lines of dialogue at the end of a scene that naturally cause the audience to want to know what happens next. They give a nice flow to the story by propelling us into the following scene. Let's take a look at some examples of dialogue hooks in The Silence of the Lambs.
Just do your job, but never forget what he is.
And what is that?
Oh, he's a monster.
And I looked in the phone book, and there's a yourself storage facility right outside of downtown Baltimore, sir.
Our little Billy must already be searching for that next special lady.
Yeah, then she had to die trying to.
Fed him honey and nightshade, kept him warm. Somebody loved him.
Paul Krenler's over here from Justice. She's asking him to take over in Memphis.
Hot damn, Clarice. You know her.
Don't be deceived by the simplicity of dialogue hooks. They are powerful tools in keeping your audience engaged. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. First, I want to thank my patrons for supporting me on Patreon. Your awesome support helps keep the channel going. If you're not a member yet, please go to patreon.com/scriptsleuth to get early access to videos, exclusive content not available to the public, and vote on films to cover next. Also, be sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified of upcoming videos. See you next time.